Hey guys, Keegan here. It's been an eventful weekend. We just closed out the For Honor closed alpha, and here are some of our impressions. It was an alpha, so of course there were going to be issues with disconnections and servers. Oftentimes it was hard to join a game, and games disconnected like all the time. That's totally to be expected though. That's just the nature of any alpha test. When the game ran, it ran beautifully at a comfortable 60 FPS, no problems, it was butter smooth. Visually, the game is stunning. You know, there are particle effects and animations, and everything's just really on point. Even the sound design worth noting, and the score was great too. It's really apparent that the devs put a lot of tender love and care into this game, and it's really showing. I think the art shines through the most. They're gorgeous landscapes, and the Anvil engine's doing a great job bringing it all to life. The lighting is also fantastic, setting an excellent mood between each map. As far as gameplay goes, we only got the chance to play for a limited time, but the gameplay had a very slight learning curve. There was a mandatory tutorial at the very beginning that was actually really helpful, and we would have had no idea what to do without it at the very top. The alpha offered 3 modes, 1 vs 1 duels, 2v2 matches, and a 4v4 conquest-like mode. The duels are pretty cool. I got my ass kicked all the time because I suck at that kind of thing. In the 4v4 matches, I had fun zipping around, capping points, attacking people from behind, because I knew I couldn't win if I attacked them from the front. The combat was actually pretty fun and offered a nice break from the typical hack and slash that many other games like this require. There were a lot of complaints on the forums about how, you know, the meta is unbalanced and unfair, and I'm sure they'll take care of those issues before the full release. But it's important to note that some of that stuff is already kind of going on. For Honor Alpha was honestly more for the developers than it was for us. Obviously, you need to do alpha tests to stress test your servers and your game engine and all that jazz. However, I think there are some key takeaways that us, the player, need to consider after this. First off, the number of game modes are actually pretty limited. There's only 3, and there's not a ton of variety in gameplay. The larger 4v4 battles are actually pretty small, and they're very similar to the Guild Wars 2 competitive PvP. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it just illustrates how small and structured these matches really are. Secondly, there was a lot of marketing for this game that kind of portrayed it as like a Pirates, Vikings, and Knights meets Dynasty Warriors. And based purely on the alpha, we can confirm that that's not at all the case. These matches are small, and any kind of like auxiliary troops that you might see like in Dynasty Warriors it's a very small cluster at the center of the map. It's not widespread or semi-open world like Dynasty Warriors is. Of course, the game's in alpha, so drawing any conclusions about it without actually playing the full product would be unfair. There might be features that Ubisoft plans in the future. There are plenty that weren't in this alpha. However, Ubisoft has burned players in this way before, with Watch Dogs, if you remember. The open beta was extremely promising, it was so fun, people got super hyped, but when it actually released, there wasn't much more to it than the beta. The beta kind of seemed to imply that there was going to be more to the game, and when it actually came out, there wasn't. And I can honestly see For Honor going a very similar path. Overall, if you're interested in For Honor, we highly recommend you keep a cautious but optimistic eye out for further developments. If the release is a fully fleshed out version of what we saw during the alpha, then For Honor might turn out to be a really solid game. We had a ton of fun during the closed alpha, we're glad we got invited, and until next time.